Hey everyone, Devin here. As most of you know, I went to Queenstown for the New Year's. We were there for about a week. And so I thought, why not share with you guys one of the experiences that I had while I was over there. One of the experiences that I had while I was there, I hitchhiked into town. So that was the first for me. I've never done that before. But pretty much we were just sitting around waiting for a taxi. The taxi didn't come. It was about 8 o'clock. It was still light because it's summer here over in New Zealand, so it doesn't get dark until like 10 o'clock. So yeah, all my friends were like waiting around. They were getting quite frustrated that the taxi hadn't come. We were all ready. We were like, oh, let's just go back down. We'll call another taxi. And the house was kind of just like down like a drive. The road was up here, the main road. So the house is like down here. Everyone started walking back down to the house, and I'm like, screw this. I wanna go to town. I wanna have a good time. My friends were like calling me like, when are you coming to town? I'm like, oh, screw this. So I go out, I go to the top of the road, I stand by the gutter, and I'm just like, waited there for like 10 minutes with my thumb out, wanting to catch a ride. And then, out of nowhere, like you wouldn't expect, someone pulled up next to me, and so I'm guessing like I get in the car, I don't know, like do they tell me that you gotta pick me up? I just walk to the car and I pretty much just hop in. I don't know if you're meant to do that, but I just hopped in the car. I like sat down, I'm like shaking, I'm like crap, what am I doing? Like, oh my gosh, I put my seatbelt on. And then so we're just like driving, it's like kind of like, I'm quite scared. I just start making small talk and I'm like, oh, how are you? Like, how was your Christmas and stuff? I had no idea what to say, but obviously that's the type of conversation that you would have at this time of year. So he's just like, oh yes, very good New Year. I know, it didn't sound Indian, but let's just say he sounded Indian. We just started chatting about his business and stuff like that. And then it just went like silent, and like none of us were talking. And I'm like, oh, okay, like we're nearly into town. It's only like a 5-minute drive. So we're like nearly there. And so yeah, it just went silent, and then he goes, can I ask you something? And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get raped, oh my gosh. I'm like, sure. I'm like, sure. He's like, are you Christian? And I'm just like, yes, I am son of Jesus Christ, Lord our Savior, you are my brother. And he's just like, oh yes, what church do you go to? I'm like, oh, it's just like Brethren in Oamaru, like it's kind of like Presbyterian, like we had a good wee yarn about church and things like that. So I see that we're like coming into town, I'm like, oh yes, finally here. And he's just like, oh, I have to go to church now. And I'm like, okay, yeah, all good. And he drops me off at church. I walk into town, I see my friends, I'm like, guys, you'll never guess what I just did. I hitchhiked into town, oh my gosh. A lot of people say, oh, don't hitchhike, like all they hear is bad things about it. But sometimes, like the experience that I just had, you actually meet quite nice people. So yeah, it's not all bad hitchhiking, although just be a bit wary about whose car you get into. I got into a van. So yeah, that's one of the experiences that I'll always remember from my time in Queenstown. It's cool to do things while you're young. You get to experience things that you probably won't get to do when you're older. So I say just make the most of your time while you're young. Don't take it for granted because it goes really quick. Have a great day and I'll see you next time. Are you Christian? And I'm like, yes, I'm